Hi, I'm Amalia Brightley-Gillott, Managing Director and second generation of Family Business Place. Welcome to Family Business in 5, where I tackle some of the most common problems that we see in family businesses in around 5 minutes. In this episode, let's talk about the challenges of taking over a family business which just has no proper structure and everything is very informal. Family businesses are loved for being warm, friendly places to work, like a giant family in fact. And it's something that you always loved about it when you came to help your mum or your dad in the office when you were younger. But now that you've taken over the reins, you've suddenly noticed how such an informal culture, where everyone is great mates and nobody is really accountable, means that the business has just lost its sharpness and it isn't making the most of opportunities for growth. Are you ready to tackle this in 5 minutes? Let's start the clock. The first problem is that lack of accountability. Yes, you may have some management structure in place, and technically everyone has to report to someone else. But when they've all been there for 20 years and they've become great friends, there's nobody actually cracking the whip or holding people accountable. In fact, most people just see your mum or your dad as their boss, and they're great mates with everyone. It would make things really awkward and difficult if they were to hold people to task or even fire them. It's just not that kind of company. However, it also means that the business just isn't working at its full potential. People aren't driven and hungry. They've just become very comfortable and complacent. This is bad news for any business in today's world. The second challenge is that this unstructured culture means you're holding on to deadwood and are losing out on the brightest new talent. Young, ambitious people who want to see a clear ladder for growth and development. They want to be part of an innovative, vibrant company that's going somewhere and has big ideas. They're not interested in working for a company which feels stagnant and slow to change. Put yourself in their shoes. You've just come out of uni. The world is your oyster. You're excited and driven to begin your career. You go for an interview at this local family business, which everyone says is such a nice place to work. Everyone's really friendly. Yet you do some digging and it hasn't really grown much over the last few years. The same people have been there for a long time. It's a bit cliquey because they've known each other for so many years. And people are just waiting for their retirement. There's no real career progression plan. The company doesn't do anything particularly innovative or groundbreaking. It's just a very nice, stable, local family business, but without much oomph. The third problem with having no formal structure, procedures or policies is that nobody's exactly sure of what's expected of them. And that makes it hard to let them go when you think they're not performing. Job descriptions, company handbooks, new staff training, all of these very basic things help people to understand where they fit in the company, what's expected of them, and what the procedures are if they don't fulfill their role properly. Now, I'm not saying you have to be a business driven by sales targets and KPIs, but if you don't help people to find their goals, then when they fall short of your expectations, you're going to have some very difficult and uncomfortable conversations. Far better that each individual person knows exactly what they need to achieve, and this will give them clarity and focus. So how can you, as the next generation with big ambitions for the future of this business, bring in some much needed structure without upsetting and ostracising everyone who's part of the company's fabric? Number one, it's really important to tackle this lack of accountability with a new management structure. Historically, everyone's pretty much only reported to your dad, and he has a brilliant way of being everyone's best friend, which is fantastic to have when people are the heart and soul of your business. But not always so useful when it comes to making sure people are performing. So now that your dad isn't involved in the day-to-day running, you can implement a new management structure. Now, this doesn't have to be anything scary or complicated, but you will be able to identify a few shining stars, people who've been with you for ages, who excel at what they do, are great with people, and can head up parts of the business. In fact, why not let them come to you? Let the whole company know that you're looking for a few key people who want to step up and work alongside you in your quest to grow the business. This inclusive approach of adding a simple layer of management means you'll shake off the cobwebs, bring your real champions to the fore, and help people understand there's just no room for complacency anymore if you want to succeed. Number two, if you want to attract brilliant new people to your family business, then it's crucial that you create personal development plans. Again, they don't need to be anything particularly complex, but it means that anyone thinking about joining your business can see future potential for themselves. And it's not just about the money. In your plan, talk about opportunities for personal growth, expansion of roles, innovative thinking, what you do differently as a company, your social impact, training. Not only will it attract a different calibre of person when you're recruiting, it's also a great exercise for you to do with your existing team, who will be excited to be part of it, and hopefully they'll want to create their own development plan. Number 3, get everything written down. Policies, procedures, company handbook, job descriptions, targets and goals, employment contracts. If it's written down, people can refer to it. There's no room for any misunderstanding. If someone isn't performing, it won't come as a shock to them when you have to pull them up on it and tackle it. If you think someone's taken the mick with sickness or holiday, you've got a clear, firm policy to refer to. This will immediately alleviate the problem of having to have those tough conversations with people who you consider friends, because it will be very black and white. Having everything written down safeguards you and your employees. Brilliant. So let's recap on those 3 things you can do to create more structure in your family business so that you can grow. 1, bring in a new management structure. Move away from being a dictatorship where everyone reports to you and let some of those shining stars in your team step up. 2, create personal development plans. Not only will this help you attract brilliant new talent who wants to be part of an exciting business, it will also encourage your existing staff to develop personally. 3, get everything written down. Having formal policies and procedures leaves no room for grey areas and takes the emotion out of things when you need to hold people to account. So, as you go away and hopefully try some of these things, I'll leave you one final thought. The more successful your family business, the bigger your family's impact.